As a UI designer, color is very important. You need to think like an art or creative director and consider how photos and illustrations will help impact the design as well. Knowing a bit of color theory will help guide your way. On the color wheel we learned in school, primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. Secondary colors are green, orange, and purple. And tertiary colors occur when primary and secondary colors are mixed. Monochromatic design involves using different tints, tones, and shades of a single color. Analogous color schemes draw inspiration from colors next to each other on the color wheel. Complementary schemes use colors that are directly across from each other. You can also think of colors in terms of warm colors, red, orange, and yellow, or cool colors, blue, green, and purple. Neutral colors tend to be black, white, gray, and brown. Color temperature can be used to help communicate emotion. One color to be extra aware of when designing is black. In general, it is seen as hard on the eyes. Consider using a percentage, something like 80% black. Grayscale will not only be easier for the viewer to read, it also tends to add an element of sophistication to your work. When it comes to the practicality of selecting colors for a project, there are a few key factors to keep in mind. First, in general, it's best to stick to a concise color palette. This could be as simple as selecting a primary or main color, as well as a secondary or accent color. You want to minimize the number of distractions on any project, so limiting the colors you use is a good way to achieve a clean design. You'll also want to consider how you will apply color or treatments to signal state changes when a button goes from active to hover states to selected. Color can indicate clues or affordances about what the user needs to do next. As the world becomes more digital, it's also important to think about color in terms of accessibility. You need to make sure there's enough contrast. For instance, orange text on a yellow background will be very difficult for most people to read. There are also certain color combinations that are challenging for those who are visually impaired. Therefore, it's always a good idea to cross-check your color palette against the W3C accessibility standards. Material design keeps accessibility in mind, so you can always turn to their resources to guide you as you start a project. I encourage you to do an audit of existing brands or sites that have distinct color schemes. Start to take note of how the details play out in the layout. Where is color added and where is it avoided? What imagery is used and how does it reflect the look and feel of the product as well as the brand values?